right now. So hopefully that shows up. Okay, so we have started. Welcome everybody. My name is Tim, and Edgar's hiding somewhere around here. He's the main guy over there at English campus, and we're doing this. There he is.
Thank you.
And we're going to be doing this little TKT webinar. And just what's this TKT all about? Yes. So we'll go through this. Feel free to chat and talk to me. I'll try to keep my eye on the chat window the best I can. And maybe Edgar could help me that as well. And we shall continue. Excellent. Okay, so first, let's do a poll. So everyone, you could go to this link right here. I'll send it to you in the chat as well.
Okay.
There you go, guys. I sent it to you in the chat, so you could go to that link and we can start voting. So you'll see the results here showing up on the shared screen. So as soon as you get to that page, go ahead and choose one.
Okay, what page is it that I'm supposed to go?
It's cambridgeteachertraining.com/poll. I just sent it to everyone in the chat, and it should take you right here. There you go. So we have one person so far in there. Where's everyone else? Yeah, this is a group participation. So this doesn't work unless everyone takes the poll. Hello, Juan, how are you? Go ahead and hop on the poll here and we'll get a good idea of the folks who are participating with us. All right, so we have two at cambridgeteachertraining.com/poll, P-O-L-L.
What are we supposed to do with that?
And you just vote. Yes, so here you just choose which is your level of English certification. Yeah, the page you see is actually a little bit different. The page you see will look like this. Yes, just choose which one you like, click on vote, and then we will see the results here. There you go. So we have 3 people so far.
So how am I going to do this?
Hello, Allie. How are you? Here you go. I'll send you the link again for those of you who just joined. We just started the poll. So go ahead and go to this link. You could paste it into your browser, and then it will take you to a screen like this. Yes, so choose one of these, click vote, and we will see the results here. There we go, there we go. If you just joined us, here's the link to the poll. So you could copy and paste that into your browser. And we just want to see who's participating with us today. Yeah, all right. So far we have 7 people who voted. Excellent. Okay. Good. Oh, we have people from Campeche. Hello, Yetsenia. Did you vote already? You could go to this poll right here. I don't want to spend too much time here, so I'll forward in a moment. I'm just waiting for everyone to vote. Looks like we have about 12 or 13 participants. 8 of us have voted. Okay, so about half of you don't have an English certificate. Nothing wrong with that. All right. So just to keep things moving along, let's go to the next question and see how long everyone's been teaching for. Gladys, hello. Yes, to vote, you could go to this link here. I just sent it in the chat, cambridgeteachertraining.com/poll, and it will bring you to a window like this. So choose how long you've been teaching, click vote, and we can see who's with us today. Okay, wow, we have a couple teachers who have taught for a long time. Good, good. And then we have another bunch that haven't taught too long. Okay, all right. So more than half the group has more than 5 years experience. Interesting. All right, wow. Okay, so most of the teachers have more than 5 years who've been joining us. Wonderful. All right, so we got 10 votes so far, huh? All right, so let's go to the next question. Interesting. So 70% have more than 5 years and 40% more than 10 years. Wow, lots of experience in this webinar today. And who do you primarily teach? Now we teach in adults, teens. The ages are about, yeah, it's not exact.
Well, I told all of them.
Yeah, and for some of you, yeah, it might be all of them. It sure might be all of them, because I know I have a range I teach as well. Excellent, okay. All right, so a big chunk of us, we teach teens, so like high school age kids. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next poll here. And where or what kind of institution do you teach in? Is it a private school or university, public school, university, language school, or are you a freelance? As many of us are. Okay. All right, so public school, language school, and freelance. Cassandra from Campeche as well. Well, we have a lot of people from Campeche today. Nice. Okay, language school. Language school is certainly a popular one. All right, so I just wanted to get an idea of who all has joined us today. So thank you for participating in the poll. Excellent. So we always have the question, what is the Cambridge TKT, right? A lot of people, you know, I already have some kind of English certification, so why do I need the TKT? Okay, so here's the difference between the English certifications and the TKT.
Right.
Yes, the English certifications are exactly that. They tell you what level of English do you have. Yeah.
Right.
Some people have a Cambridge certificate. Some people might have an IELTS. But this tells you the level of your English proficiency. Whereas the TKT, the Teaching Knowledge Test, this is a teaching certificate. So again, this does not assess your level of English. Yes, this is a teaching qualification. So that's the difference between the Cambridge Suites exams and the TKT. And you can see the TKT here is towards the developing end of the Cambridge teaching spectrum. So this is the scale they use for English proficiency, and this is the scale Cambridge uses for teaching certifications. So we could see here that the teaching knowledge test is not an English proficiency test, and it is not an evaluation of performance in the classroom. If you want evaluation of performance in the classroom, then we're talking about the CELTA, or CELT-P, or CELT-S. Yes, the teaching knowledge test only checks your background and knowledge for teaching English. Now, it's internationally recognized. Over 25,000 universities, employers, and governments accept these certificates because it's from Cambridge, and accepted over 60 countries, so they're accepted all over the world. And here in Mexico, if you teach in a public school, it's actually now a requirement for CEP. And you could see, you could get more information at that link right down below here. 𝗪𝗏/TKT. And you could get more information about how CEP sees the TKT and how it's part of their curriculum as well. So the TKTs are a modular exam, meaning you could take each of these exams separately. Yeah, so and when we talk about the TKT, yeah, the main modules, it's 1, 2, 3. And then we have some specialist modules down here. All right, and so they all follow the same format, 80 minutes for 80 questions. Yes, there's some kind of matching or multiple choice, and you put all your answers on your answer sheet. So all 5 exams, or all 5 modules, they follow the same format. So when we talk about the core modules, we're talking about TKT 1, 2, and 3. And this is what we'll be focusing on today. Yeah. And then there are specialist modules. So if you teach a core type of a class in English, you would do the CLIL. And if you do young learners, you could do the young learners specialist modules as well. But the CEP only looks at the core modules. And this is the one most institutions will look at, unless you're specifically teaching the young learners or you're teaching a core subject. Yeah, so let's take a little deeper look here at the core modules. So TKT Module 1 has 3 parts. Yeah, part 1, we're talking about the systems and skills of language teaching, and of course, your knowledge of the terminology and the concepts used in English language teaching, and how to describe language, and how to describe language skills and sub-skills. Part 2, they test you on your knowledge of how learners learn languages, and your knowledge about aspects of the language learning process. Yes, because that's important to know how our students learn so we can teach them appropriately. And part 3 deals with specific methods and approaches to teaching English, and the various concepts and terminology related to teaching and learning procedures. For example, activities, things like this, and it includes assessment as well. So that's all covered in Module 1, TKT. Module 2, we talk, this one has 2 parts, yes. Part 1, test your knowledge of the functions of classroom language and how to adapt your language appropriately for your learners, and how to analyze and categorize learner errors. And part 2, for Module 2, we're talking, Module 2, Part 1, talks about lesson planning. I jumped ahead. Module 2, part 1, talks about lesson planning and sequencing activities within and across lessons, and your knowledge of choosing appropriate assessment activities to build in the lessons, for example. And part 2, you have to demonstrate an understanding of concepts and terminology related to resources and implications for the language classroom. Now, that sounds very technical and lots of terminology, and you'll learn that about half of the TKT is just about learning terminology. If you've been teaching, especially for 5 years or 10 years, you know these things, but you might not know the specific term that we use for these things. So half of the battle is terminology. And I'll give you a link at the end of the webinar to the TKT glossary that goes over a lot of the terminology that's in the exam. Yeah, so that's module 2, part 2. And then we'll take a look at module 3. There's 2 parts here. The first part, like I said, tests your knowledge of the functions of classroom language and how to adapt your language appropriate to your learners. Part 2 of module 3 is all about classroom management. So you have to demonstrate your knowledge of the range and functions of strategies for classroom management. So that basically means the different types of activities, pacing of the lesson, how to group your learners for more interactive learning. It talks about correction and feedback. And that's all about classroom management. So that's the basics of module 1, 2, 3. Again, at the end of the webinar, I'll give you a booklet that goes into detail of all the modules, or 1, 2, and 3, and all of the parts in these modules. Yes, I'll give you a link for that at the end of the webinar. So you do get a certificate for each TKT you take. So if you take module 1, 2, 3, then you get 3 certificates. If you only take module 1, you get 1 certificate. And you get a band 1 through 4. Yeah. And CEP and most institutions will say 3 is a satisfactory score and 4 is an excellent score. And if you get a 1 or a 2, don't worry, you could always take it again. Yeah. And then the same thing, if you take all 3 modules and perhaps you get a band 4 on 2 and 3, but a band 3 on module 1, well, you could always take just module 1 to try to get that band 4. Yeah, so they're all modular. So that's all about the TKT. Do I have any quick questions? Because I do want to go into a little demo here for you guys. Okay, I don't see anything coming through the chat, so let's continue. So most experienced teachers find modules 2 and 3 to be a little bit easier, just because they have, like I said, the knowledge. They just might know the terminology for it. But most people who take the exam find module 1 to be most difficult. So let's go ahead and tackle that. And we'll start with everyone's favorite, grammar. Yes. So here we go. So this is just a warm-up, super easy. We're going to match the part of speech to the description. Yes, so for example, we have here a word that replaces or refers to a noun or noun phrase just mentioned. And here's your example. I saw Brianna yesterday. She looked well. So what is she? Yes, and here, very simply, Okay, so this very simply is a, right? It is a pronoun. So I'll send you a link to it's a Google form, but it's a little worksheet here. And you could, okay, so I just sent everyone the link. And it should take you to this form here. There you go. And then you could just, yeah, so A is number 1. And you could continue, and then you could check your answers here at the end. When you submit, you could check your answers to see if you were correct or not. So I'll give everyone here about 2-3 minutes to complete this. It's a real basic exercise, I know. But remember, this is just a warm-up, you guys. This is just a warm-up. Yeah, so does everyone have the link? It'll take you right to here. All right. Has everyone finished? Has everyone finished? Done? Okay. Okay. Done. All right. And then, like I said, the form itself, once you submit it, will give you the answers. But I've also written the answers here on the side, just so we all have it for posterity. Yes, this is very basic parts of speech, right? So the next thing we would do is go into language analysis for TKT. And what's that look like? That looks something like this. So we have the same parts of speech here, but now we have these sentences, and we have to say what word is which. That makes sense. So the underlined words, which part of speech is each underlined word? So for example here, number 1, we have she, and we know she here is a pronoun. So I will put you into breakout rooms, and you can work with your partner and find the correct answers. Where are we? Okay, oh no, we'll do that next. We'll do that next. I don't have slides for this. So we could do this right now. So make a note in your notebook or what have you, and go ahead and match each word to a part of speech. Now you do have to use the words more than once, and you have to use all the letters at least once. Yes, I'll give you guys a couple minutes here to analyze this. Which part of speech does each underlined word match? I'll give you guys maybe 3-4 minutes. You could probably do it faster, but 3-4 minutes. And then you could just let me know in the chat when you're done, and we could go over answers, okay? Okay, I'll give you guys maybe 1 more minute, finish up. It looks like almost everyone's done, maybe 30 seconds. All right, so here we go. You guys have those answers there. Check them out. You could compare, see how you did. But this is probably something very similar you give to some of your students. So for TKT, they actually want you to go one step further. So that looks like this. So here we have the same sentences, and we know that she is a pronoun, but TKT wants to know what kind of pronoun is it? Well, we know that she, so what kind of pronoun? So we know that she is a personal pronoun. But here, it's also a subject of a sentence. So it's also a subject pronoun. Yep. So I will have you do this with a partner. I'll give you guys a couple minutes, and then we'll come back here for answers. So in the chat, I'm going to give you guys a link, because when I put you in breakout rooms, you'll lose this screen. Yes, so this link has an image of the screen. So when you guys go into your breakout rooms, you'll be able to know what's going on. Oh, I just realized I don't have breakout rooms. Hey, Edgar.
Hey.
Do you have breakout rooms in your?
No.
No, interesting. Okay, so there's no breakout room, guys. I'm sorry. Usually, I could put you guys in the breakout rooms. But maybe because we're doing this as a webinar, I could have sworn. Hold on, let me stop the share, and maybe that'll let me. Oh, it's because we're recording, I think. We can't do a breakout room. Okay, well, if we can't do a breakout room, no worries. Unfortunately, you cannot work with a partner, but you can work on your own. So you could go ahead and take a moment and see if you could find what kind of part of speech, specific part of speech, are all of these underlined words. Everyone's so quietly hard at work. I'll give you guys about 3 more minutes and just do the best you can. And not all of them have 2 answers like this. Yeah? Some of them only have 1. One, you're very fast. Very good. Very good. I take it you enjoy grammar. It's usually the folks who have a lot of knowledge about grammar do really well in part or module 1. Okay, wow. Gladys too. Nice. Okay, good, good. Done, done, done. All right. I'll give everyone else maybe 1 more minute to finish up. Done. All right, Mariela. Yes, someone raised a hand. How can I help you? Oh, that means you're done. Okay, good, good. Okay, so let me show you the answers here so you could all check your answers. So there you go, 1 through 10. Those are your answers. So again, for TKT, they want you to go 1 level past what most teachers would think is sufficient for teaching English. Yes. And then, of course, in this section, we would cover tenses, but we're going to move on for now. So we're going to move here from grammar to the next section. So here, you have to unscramble these letters to make a word which is related to language learning. So you could go ahead and if you think you have the answer, put it in the chat. We'll see who could figure this out first. Oh, fast. Vocabulary. Yes, it is vocabulary, but in the TKT, you will see it marked as Lexis, which is just a fancy way to say vocabulary. Lexis. Yes. So basically, we went from the sentence level here, and now we're going to the word level. Yes, the word level. So let's check some of our terminology. Again, we can't go into breakout rooms, so you have to do this individually, but that's not a problem. Let's do number one as an example. A meaningful group of letters added to the end of a root or base word. Okay, well, I know that is suffix. So I'll just put number one here. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes. Same thing. Just match the terminology here to the definition of the terminology. Okay, done. You guys are fast. We'll give the rest here. Okay, maybe one more minute to finish up. Done. Okay. So if you've already finished, you can check the screen here and you'll see the answers pop up, and you could check to see that you got them all correct, I'm assuming. So now that we know the terminology, just to make sure that we completely understand the concept of these words, we want to match an example to each of these. Yes, so for example, that was quick, do it quickly. We see here, that's a suffix. So that would go in box number one. So we could do the same thing here. Match the example to each of the terms. Again, I'll give you guys 2-3 minutes. You guys seem to be doing this very fast. So maybe you don't need the whole time, but nonetheless. Nope, there's no link. You could just put the your answers on a piece of paper. All right, Juan. Wow, you're first to finish all of them, I think. Nice. All right, Mariella's done as well. Done. Okay, maybe another 30 seconds just to wrap it up here. All right, Reina. Done, Blanca. Okay, Ali. Okay, so let me go ahead and bring up the answers so you could all check your answers and see how you did. And so you could see a little bit about what they cover here in Lexis. So we started with the grammar, which was sentence level. And then we went to Lexis, which was word level. And then the next section, we would actually move on to the sound level. So we went from sentence to word to sound. And that would be the phonemes. Yes. But we will not do phonemes today. Don't worry. We saved that for class. Okay. So the TKT prep course that we do here is it's covered in 6 sessions. The first session, the sessions 1 and 2 cover module 1, just because there's so much to cover in module 1. Session 3, we do all of module 2. Session 4, we do all of module 3. And then session 5, we do strategies for the TKT. So how to take the exam, best way to answer questions, the different kinds of task types, and different tips to try to make sure you get a good score, right? A good band. And then session 6 is actually a mock exam. So just like it would be when you do an exam, all the chairs are separated, so on and so forth. So you know exactly what the process is like when you take the exam. And of course, it's timed because the exam itself is timed. So it's generally 6 sessions, 5 hours a session for 30 hours. But, and I haven't even told Edgar about this, because Edgar is such a good guy and he always helps me out so much when I go to Mérida to do the IELTS exam, I'm going to add 1 more session here, totally free. So it's an extra 5 hours. And in this last session, we analyze the mock test question by question. Yes, so we go through all, 8 times 3, right? 240 questions, and we analyze each question. I've done this twice before, and all the participants say that this is the most helpful as far as, I mean, yes, the learning is certainly helpful, but just to be able to analyze the mock exam, they really enjoy. And you could only find this class here at English Campus in Mérida. So definitely talk to Edgar, because it's the only place in the Yucatan that will be offering this course. So this is exclusive here with
Thank you. Thank you, Tim. Thank you.
Campus Mérida, of course.
Yeah. We are going to do this course here in Mérida and also in Campeche. Okay?
So there you go. You heard it straight from the boss. So you could go to this link here. You'll see the TKT glossary, the module 1 through 3 exam overview, give me till tomorrow to get the slides up, because I'll take all the slides, put them in a PDF, so you could have all the webinar slides. And then once the recording is available, I will put that there as well. And I'm sure you could go to the English Campus website to see the video as well. But you can have this link here. You could go to this link and you will get all of these just for joining us as a thank you. Yeah. And so I think that's about it for me. I hope this was a helpful webinar for you guys, and hope to see you at the TKT prep course for sure. Oh, and before I go, I almost forgot, on the last course we did, we had about a little over 30 participants, and I felt that I couldn't give my personal attention to everyone. So I'm gonna talk to Edgar here about maybe limiting each course to 10 to 12. So it's just a little bit more hands-on, and that way I could give my personal attention to each of the participants, because I think that's really important in a teaching certification like this. So outside of that, I could stick around here for some questions as far as the TKT goes. As far as the exams and the prep course, you could talk to Edgar, and you have his information down here for English Campus Mérida. And you could talk to him here because he's online with us here as well. But as far as the webinar, I think that's it for me, unless you guys have questions, of course. So I'll hand it back over to you, Edgar.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So if somebody have questions, please, to the teacher, something about the TKT, about the content, you are free to speak.
I see someone has their hand raised. I just don't know if that was from earlier or not. I think it was, to say that you were done.
Nobody?
Oh, no, thank you guys for coming. Absolutely. I hope this was helpful for you.
Okay. So before to talk with the teachers, thank you, team. I think this is a good information for all the people who want to take these kind of certifications. And actually, the TKT is so important right now to professional background, no? So try to take it, really. If you are in front of a classroom, this is going to help you to improve the way you teach, no? So we are glad that you'll be here with us today. And well, if somebody have questions, right now.
Yeah, and it's really surprising as well. I've been doing TKT for quite some time, and even teachers who have 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years experience, they still tell me they've learned something new. They didn't think after 20 years of teaching they'd be able to learn something new, but through the TKT and studying for it, it has improved their teaching. So that's one of the greatest compliments I think I could receive, because, you know, a teacher that's been teaching for that long and I was still able to teach them something, that's pretty rewarding.
Yes. Yes, that's true. That's true. Okay. So, and at the end of the day, is one of the most important certificates around the world to teach English. You know, of course, we have CELTA, we have Delta, and everything, but TKT is like the first step for us, like teachers, to improve our way to teach. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, go on, Tim.
No, I was going to say, yeah, it certainly opened doors for you. It'll give you a little bit more confidence, just because certainly having that Cambridge certificate is always nice to add to the resume. And like I said, the public schools now here in Mexico do have it as a requirement if you teach English in the public school. So super important and super helpful to have. And like I said, just having this knowledge is very helpful. And like I said, this has nothing to do with performance in the classroom. It's just a written exam. No, Cambridge certificates do not expire. A lot of the schools and institutions, as far as language certification, they don't expire, but they expect you to have a new one or one that's updated about every 2 years. But these teaching certifications don't expire per se, because these are fundamental pieces of knowledge, fundamental information that doesn't change in a short period of time. I mean, because this is stuff that the Cambridge has been researching and doing studies on for over 100 years, and they've come up with this core fundamental what teachers should know if they're going to teach English. And those fundamental skills don't change so quickly. And so once you know them, they understand you have the knowledge. It's not like a language where you have to practice all the time or you forget. And yes, perhaps you could forget some things if you haven't taught for a long time. But as any teacher knows, if you've taught for some amount of time and you stop and you go back to teaching 1 or 2 classes later, you go right back into it, right? As far as price and everything, you'd have to talk to Edgar. I'm not sure. I'm just the guy that does the TKT. There you go. Edgar.
Okay, yeah, about that, I'm going to try to speak in Spanish to be very well understanding. Con respecto a lo que son precios, fechas de cursos, fechas de exámenes, y también para pasarles el link que nos compartió el maestro Tim con respecto a cierto material que se puede bajar. Les voy a pedir, ahorita voy a poner en el chat el correo electrónico para que nos manden sus datos, ¿ok? Y nosotros podamos compartirles ese material, ¿no? Y pues, lo único sí les voy a pedir un poquito de paciencia en el sentido de las fechas, sobre todo por la contingencia, ¿no? Para determinar, en el caso de Mérida, ¿ok? En el caso de Mérida hablo. En el caso de Mérida, contemplar lo del COVID para ver si lo hacemos en línea, las sesiones, o si lo hacemos, ¿cómo se le llama? En presencial, ¿no? Entonces, ahí nada más yo tengo que checarlo. Con respecto a Campeche, estamos trabajando con el maestro Fernando Celis para que él también nos pueda ayudar en esa parte para poder definir la misma parte, ¿no? De si lo hacemos en línea, si lo hacemos presencial, que lo más seguro en Campeche es hacerlo presencial, porque no está la situación no está tan fuerte como acá, ¿no? De que aquí sí nos están visitando todos los lugares para ver que no estemos trabajando. Entonces, en Campeche a lo mejor sí se pudiera dar presencial. ¿Ok? Con respecto a la pregunta que veo que me pusieron acá, no es necesario tomar los 3 módulos al mismo tiempo. Sin embargo, sin embargo, una vez que ustedes toman el curso, ¿no? Sí se les dice que la idea es que los tomen los 3 al mismo tiempo, porque pues al final de cuentas ya tomaron un curso de los 3 módulos y para tener frescos esos conocimientos, ¿no? Sin embargo, no es necesario tomar o no es de rajatabla tomar los 3 módulos, porque en ese sentido hemos conocido o nos han llegado a nosotros preguntas de que hay otros centros que si no son los 3 módulos no los dejan presentar. No, los módulos se pueden tomar individuales. Y también contamos, en dado de que alguien ya tenga los 3 primeros módulos, también contamos con el TIL y también contamos con el Young Learners, que va enfocado a todos aquellos maestros que están trabajando con niños de primaria y kinder. Ok, no sé si tengan preguntas del video. El video lo vamos a estar subiendo al a nuestro canal de YouTube, en English Campus Mérida. Lo estaremos subiendo también en nuestras redes sociales de Facebook y para que lo puedan ver. Y si alguien quiere que se le envíe, con mucho gusto se lo podemos mandar también por correo. Les voy a poner en la descripción, en el chat, les voy a poner el correo donde nos van a poder contactar para cualquier otra información. No sé si alguien tenga alguna otra pregunta, algo sobre el examen, sobre alguna otra cosilla por ahí que queramos o que podamos comentar, y que también Tim, si hay alguna pregunta para Tim, que podamos continuar con él, ¿no? Un ratito más si nos los permite.
Yeah, I'm still here, guys. I'm still here. I've been answering questions here in the chat. And I have maybe another 5-10 minutes. I have to go teach a CELTA after this, so.
Good luck.
Oh, yes.
Y esa es otra, que también estamos, qué bueno que lo menciona Tim, esa es otra de las cosas, ¿no? La intención es juntar maestros, ¿no? O reunir maestros que toman el TKT para después poder avanzar y poder traer por primera vez, ya sea a Mérida o a Campeche, el CELTA, ¿no? El CELTA, que es una de las certificaciones más importantes para maestros también, pues ya poderlo traer a Mérida después de que muchos ya tengan esta parte del TKT, ¿no? No sé si alguno de ustedes ha escuchado del CELTA.
And then on top of the CELTA, depending on what level you teach at, of course you have the CELTA, which is, I mean, recognized all over the world as the gold standard, right, for teaching. But this is something new they started about 2 years ago, I believe. And the CELT-P is the CELTA, but for primary, so teachers who teach primary, and the CELT-S is for teachers who teach secondary. So these are two specialist courses, not quite as well known as the CELTA. The CELTA's been around for a long time and everyone knows about it. CELT-P and CELT-S, like I said, are about 2 years old, so they're still fairly new, but they are for the teachers who teach the primary and teachers who teach secondary. Yes, so that's the difference. But yes, having the CELTA, so basically the CELTA is the practical version of the TKT. So the teaching knowledge test tests your knowledge, and then the CELTA, you put your knowledge into practice, so your performance in the classroom is assessed in CELTA. And so that's the difference between the two. Is TKT is the knowledge, and the CELTA is the practical application of that knowledge. And of course, they're going to go into much more detail. If you thought the language analysis for TKT was in-depth, the CELTA goes a little bit deeper. So super, super good certification to have, but the TKT is the perfect starting point. Because then when you go into CELTA, you'll know what they're talking about. Yeah, because the TKT is not required to do the CELTA, but if you take the CELTA without doing the TKT, you have to learn all this knowledge on top of all the stuff you have to do for the CELTA. And so the TKT is a great way to introduce yourself to the next step in developing your teaching practice.
Ok. Bueno, maestros, les dejé ahí el correo en el chat. Por favor, mándenos un mail para que les podamos mandar información del TKT, exámenes, fechas y sobre todo el material que nos está compartiendo este team para poder pues compartirlo con ustedes y tengan ese material y les pueda ayudar cuando tomen el curso o cuando estén estudiando, ¿no? Para este examen. Les agradezco mucho. Este es el primer webinar que hace English Campus, ¿no? Vamos a estar realizando varios, como puse en el chat. Vamos a estar dando información sobre First Certificate, sobre el C1 Advanced, sobre IELTS y también en un futuro sobre el CELTA, ¿no? Para que estemos bien informados al final de cuenta qué certificación como maestros nos conviene y cuáles son los más reconocidos a nivel internacional para poder seguir desarrollando nuestra actividad, ¿no? Y seguir preparándonos.
What's my background? Okay, well, yeah, I've been teaching for some time. I was the assistant director of studies over at International House Cancun. I'm the main CELTA tutor at International House Riviera-Maya. I've been doing teacher training for International House Mexico City. And I also teach English at a university. I used to do business courses because my background is actually in business. I have a master's in business. And I also have an international certificate in business English training. And I also got my Delta from IH Mexico as well. So that's just a little bit of my background in teaching. And yeah, lots of teaching. I haven't taught kids. I mean, I've taught, but it's not my cup of tea. I prefer to teach like university and above. So that's what I've been focusing on. And the last 2 years, I've been really focusing on teacher training more than anything else because I really enjoy teacher training. So doing these TKT classes, doing the CELTA classes are just amazing for me. Yep. All right, guys, it looks like that's about it. I need to head out here in a couple minutes to get ready for that CELTA class, like I was saying. So if that's all, I guess I'll
Good
sign
luck, team,
off.
with your CELTA course.
Yeah, I just can't give host back to you. So,
Yeah.
so do we just want to go ahead and end this here?
Yeah.